If I could ask about two administration officials. First of all, given the revelations that my colleagues wrote about regarding the actions of the IRS over the last several years, does the president retain the confidence? Does the IRS commissioner have the president's confidence?
So I'll say this, we don't comment on enforcement actions taken by the IRS. So just the first thing, I know. I just want to, since you gave me the opportunity, Michael, I want to take it. So any questions on that, I would refer you to the IRS. That's for anyone who has any questions on that. As you know, the IRS commissioner, his term is up in November, but I don't have any updates on that. Can't speak to anything more besides, we would refer you to the IRS on that specific thing. And he is going to be up in November, so I will leave it there.
But between now and November, the president still is confident that he's able to fairly and without bias, do the things that the IRS does objectively.
Look, again, I'm going to say that he is up in November. He is a commissioner. He is a commissioner of the IRS, part of the administration. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
And then on the director of the Secret Service, who just announced resignation today. Obviously, the Secret Service has been in the news of late, given some of the testimony in front of the January 6th committee as well. Is there any relationship between the director's departure now and the timing of some of those revelations from the committee? Did the White House know about his intention to retire before that testimony last week, I guess?
So, Michael, I would say that there's no relations at all. This has been in talks for several months. For his retirement, I believe, since April, before the January 6th hearing. And as I know, he is headed to the private sector. So it is not connected at all. This has been in talks for some time now. His retirement.
I didn't hear a damn answer in any bit of that. Just word salad coming out of her mouth. We're not talking about this. We're not going to answer this. This is what we're just going to say. No, 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 no. Let me cut you off. Let me cut you off. I'm speaking now. I'm speaking. Listen to me. We need answers here in the United States, and that's who we've got telling us. And we got some more coming up from that here in a bit. I believe it was the Inflation Reduction Act that does not reduce inflation. Simple logic here. If the mass printing of money was the biggest contributor to inflation during the pandemic, how is the mass printing of money and the allocation of such into things like green energy and sending money overseas, things like that? Oh, no, that one doesn't send it overseas. That's like bringing energy to Native American reservations or something like that, as if they don't have energy already. Been on a lot of Native American reservations, and that's straight up lies. If they want you to believe they don't have electricity out there, that is a lie, 100%. But how is the mass printing of money that led to inflation the answer of taking us out of inflation? That's almost $750 billion allocated to stupid shit, including the IRS having 87,000 new agents. Yeah, we're only targeting the rich. We're going to get into that as well. Okay. Now, a little while back, there was a little news story about the IRS buying ammunition from verifythis.com. Yes, the Internal Revenue Service did buy nearly 700,000 in ammunition in early 2022. On July 1st, Congressman Matt Gaetz introduced the Disarm the IRS Act, which would prohibit the Internal Revenue Service from acquiring ammunition. Gates had previously claimed the IRS purchased hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of ammunition in an interview published in June by Breitbart, a conservative news website. Reported that Gates said I'll tell you it's framing because there's no point in putting a conservative news website in there. You don't have to put that shit. It's just framing. Because here in America, right wing, far right, conservative, oh my God, they're synonymous with the devil. Reports that Matt Gaetz said the IRS spent approximately $700,000 between March and June 1st purchasing ammunition. I'll start reading here in a minute, I promise. The Disarm the IRS Act was co-sponsored by South Carolina Rep. Jeff Duncan, who also tweeted that the IRS has stockpiled ammunition. Verify viewer Ian sent us a link to another article and asked us to confirm the IRS is buying the guns and ammunition. The question, did the IRS buy approximately $700,000 in ammunition between March and June 1st? The sources are right there. The answer? Yes, they did. Between March 1st and June 1st, 2022, the IRS ordered $696,000 in ammunition, a spokesperson confirmed to verify. They used your tax dollars for ammunition for the IRS. Now, we've sent how much money over to Ukraine for something we should never be involved with? Because Biden, when he was vice president, told Ukraine that if you don't fire the prosecutor that was investigating the company that his son Hunter Biden was sitting on the board of directors of, you're not getting the $1 billion. Well, guess what? In his words, son of a bitch, he got fired. Yeah. After that, he now becomes president, and we've sent what 60. I know it's over 50 billion. It's close to like $60 billion over to Ukraine now. And there are reports that have been deleted saying that only 30% of that is actually going towards the war effort. But so where's that other 70% going? Where's the money going, Zelensky? Where's the money going, Biden? Could it be that there are multiple politicians that have children that have set in prominent positions in companies over there in Ukraine? Could it be silence money, hush money, is known as? Could it be any of that? Could it be Zelensky himself is just this dude's supposed to be at war, all over social media doing live events, taking pictures for Vogue magazine, recording little videos so that he can show up on our music awards and movie awards or whatever the fuck it was, to tell everybody to support Ukraine. We got our president who was asked, how long are the American people going to have to suffer with high gas prices? This potato fuck literally said as long as it takes to win in Ukraine. Not to mention the biolabs that Russia has found that were mentioned. No. Come on, that's Russian disinformation, right? That's Russian disinformation. They don't exist. 47 fucking biolabs. Including BioNTech, Pfizer, Merck. Pretty much all our pharmaceutical companies. You know why? Because they don't have the same regulations that we have here. They can do whatever the fuck they want in Ukraine with lab testing, with medicine. They can commit human atrocities over there, and as long as it ain't happening on U.S. soil, who the fuck gives a damn, right? Yeah, that's happening. But the U.S. and EU don't want to send inspectors to Zero Zaporozhye atomic power station. Ukrenazi says Russia force soon shooting self this object. What? Put this station under our Russia control about 3 months. Oh God, no, 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 no. See, that was dude, when we first started this, the first time I ever did a one-on-one, Link had brought that up to me and we had watched a video of that. We watched that video that you're talking about. Where they were supposedly attacking the nuclear power plant they were shooting off artillery at the nuclear power plant. Well, first of all, those were tracer rounds from probably be a mounted machine gun on, I don't know, probably a vehicle. You couldn't see what it was coming off of, but they were being shot away from the power plant. And then they said some kind of explosive device was launched at the power plant. That was a fucking flare that landed in the parking lot. Now, still to this day, I can't find any photos of any damage. I can find photos of damage of houses in that area, but not of the nuclear power plant itself. Interesting, isn't it? Now you can find photos out there. There's this one that everybody started paying attention to there, where it shows cars overturned. They look like they've been set on fire. It looks really like a war zone, but not a single window was broken out of those houses. Y'all are some badass shots then, I'll tell you that. Congratulations. You'll fuck up cars on the road, but you won't shoot a window. Yeah. Then there was this one photo where it showed like a block devastated in Ukraine. But if you pull out from that it was an overhead shot, right? We found the original photo that pulled out, cars on the road around it, trees, grass, everything looking pristine and beautiful. Not a single bit of rubble on the road anywhere, nothing. What's really going on over there, brother? Because here in the United States, we get reports Russia's winning, we get reports Ukraine's winning, we get reports that we're doing good. We're fighting the good fight. The fuck do we know about what's happening over there? Yet we're sending billions upon billions upon billions of your tax dollars, ladies and gentlemen. And we don't know shit. But support Ukraine, right? Support Ukraine, US. Good job. While we struggle here at home, all our tax money is being sent overseas for something we don't know anything about. Not to mention the fact that nobody wants to look into the history of Ukraine, why Ukraine even existed, which, by the way, was supposed to be a borderland between NATO countries and Russia after the fall of the Soviet Union. It was supposed to be neutral territory. Now NATO wants to bring Ukraine into the United Nations. After we had said we're not going to move an inch closer to the east. Finland, Sweden. So who's really the demon? Who's really the bad guy? Is it them or is it us? But yeah, we're still going to have that talk sort. Let's see. It says the order was for the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, which is a federal law enforcement agency that conducts criminal investigations including tax violations, money laundering, cyber crimes, and organized crime involving drugs and gangs. There are more than 2,000 sworn special agents in the division. I love this one. As a matter of fact, I do not have it brought up, but we're going to go ahead and hit this one up. Many of these cases are typically worked in conjunction with other state and federal law enforcement agencies. The IRSCI's special agents have been carrying firearms throughout more than 100 years. year history of the agency, still can't read, and found themselves dealing with some of the most dangerous criminals. I could see that, but we'll get into the real problem here in a minute. Okay. In 2018, the U.S. Government Accountability Office published a report on what the IRS spent the firearms and ammunition from 2010 to 2017. The data starts on page 75 of the report. From 2010 to 2017, the IRS has spent an average of $675,000 on ammunition a year, report shows. During that time, the IRS spent the most in 2011 with $1.1 million in spending. Now, I understand a little bit about that. And, you always got to get that range training in. You still got to classify the weapon. You still got to show competency with the weapon. Yeah. I understand being able to defend yourself as an IRS agent. But here's where the problem really comes into play here. Now, verified this. I don't give a shit what the fuck they say, and I'll tell you why here in a second. The IRS is not increasing audits on middle class by hiring 87,000 new agents. The Inflation Reduction Act includes about $80 billion in funding for the IRS, which was, what, roughly around 4 or 5 billion a year before, and we still had a problem with them. Now you're going to increase their budget for $80 billion? The agency isn't using that money to hire 87,000 new auditors. Oh, it's not. It's not, huh? On Sunday, August 7th, the Senate passed the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which includes the largest ever federal effort to combat climate change and aims to lower rising costs of goods while paying down the national debt. The national debt that you're adding to by spending this money? I mean, we covered that too. They're going to be spending, like, from what they figured, it was over $400 million. And they were only going to get $300 million in return over the next 10 years. So, how in the fuck does that work? And what the fuck does the Inflation Reduction Act have to do with climate change? Makes no sense. The mass printing of money that was the biggest contributor to inflation. Let's just print some more to give it all to climate change, and that's going to reduce inflation. Makes a lot of fucking sense. Let's cheer on fucking Joe Biden, right? Yeah. The legislation also allocates funding to the Internal Revenue Service. After the Senate passed the bill, people on Twitter claimed that the funding would allow the IRS to increase audits on the middle-class Americans by hiring 87,000 new agents. Do you make 75,000 or less? Democrats' new army of 87,000 IRS agents will be coming for you, with 710,000 new audits of Americans who earn less than 75,000. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy wrote in a tweet. Well, you know why he wrote that? Because the majority of audits that actually happen to people making $75,000 or less a year. And yes, the Inflation Reduction Act does state 87,000 new IRS agents will be hired. We'll show you a little proof about it. Is the IRS increasing audits? False. No, the IRS is not increasing audits on the middle class. Let's see. If the bill passes the House and Senate, sending the law, about $45.6 billion of that IRS funding would be put towards expenses for the IRS tax enforcement services through September 2031, including hiring more agents. How the fuck is it false then? That the fuck they're not coming after you? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We're coming after the rich. Let's get into that shit. Okay. Before we do that, we got let's go ahead and get into that. 87,000 new IRS agents are coming, right? According to the IRS, 400,000 or more. Remember, Biden was saying no new taxes for anybody making less than 400,000 a year. 2.8 million people in the United States of America make $400,000 or more a year. Now, let me go ahead and bring my calculator up real quick. Let's do some quick fucking math. 2,800,000 Americans make over 400,000 or more. Divided by the 87,000 agents they're going to be issuing to the IRS or hiring for the IRS. You expect me to believe that 32.1839 whatever 32 agents are needed to go collect money from the rich. 32 agents per American making over $400,000 a year. You expect me to believe it takes 32 agents. Now, let's be real about this, okay? Yes, some of those would actually be for answering phones for tax seasons and things like that. Okay. I get you. Some of those would be for management for the teams and everything like that. But usually, 2, maybe 3 agents per person. By the way, it's like 1 point, what was it? What did I say? 1.2, 1.3%. I'll probably have to look again. 1.2, 1.3% of people in that class range get audited. So that's 1.2. Let's just go ahead and say 1.1%. Round it out, right? That would be 280,000 Americans that they audit. Divided by the 87,000 agents that they're hiring, that would bring it to 3 people per case. One time a year. One time a year that they work for maybe a month or 2 months, 3 if you want to take them to court. But here's the thing. Bringing up the court situation. Now, the people that make this money, the richest of the rich, they have that money to go ahead and fight for every damn dollar in court. Now, if the IRS comes to them and says, hey, you owe us an extra $1,000 that you missed on your taxes. Fuck, what's $1,000 if I'm making 400,000 a year? Here you go. That's fucking pocket change. Here, pay it. But if the IRS were to come to you and say you owe us $1,000, would that be devastating to you? Because it would put a fucking hindrance on me and my wife if that were to happen. Now, you're going to sit there and tell me that they're not going to come after that when the majority of all audits happen $75,000 or less. You're going to tell me that these new IRS agents that they've armed to the teeth, including with hollow point bullets, you're going to tell me they're not going to come for me. Because while I was typing something out, I hit a 2 instead of a 3 or fat fingered something. By the way, it's compounding interest. So by the time they figure out you made an honest mistake, to the time you pay it out, you still have interest on that penalty. So that $1,000 could be upward of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 before you pay it off. Yeah, no new taxes. No new taxes on you. You're just gonna pay inflation. You're gonna pay the cost for higher food, higher gas prices. You're just gonna pay at every other turn. Meanwhile, we're now gonna arm our agents to the fucking teeth, bring them to your door to kick down your fucking door if needed, because for search warrants or for searches and seizures, they don't even need a warrant. They don't even need to knock on your door. They can just kick that shit the fuck down and just take whatever they want. Feel safe yet? You really like this new 87,000 agents that are going after the rich? Are they going after the rich? Time to start thinking, America. Because everything this president has said, everything this administration has said, has been a lie. But somehow this is magically telling the truth right here, right? Yeah. People were raising the alarm about this, and IRS put up a little an ad all over the place saying, "Hey, we're hiring." IRS deletes job posting seeking applicants willing to use deadly force. The IRS deleted a job posting Wednesday seeking a special agent willing to use deadly force for its law enforcement division criminal investigation. The deletion came amid renewed scrutiny in the IRS. Wait a minute. The problem isn't that serious. You're just blowing it out of proportion. Yeah, it is that fucking serious. Remember what I said, Abel? Now, when you start having to pay royalties on the things you're planning to do, when you start having to hire tax agents who use TurboTax and things like that, unless they're certified accountants and damn good at their job, they're gonna come after you. Mark my words. What do you think about your country trying to go green power but need to spend more money for standard power to make? Dude, it makes no fucking sense. It's all that climate change dumb bullshit. It makes no fucking sense. All right. Now, if you want to talk about clean energy, you want to talk about getting off fossil fuels and things like that. Nuclear has the highest return on investment. Okay, that is money put into the project and the energy that is returned from that money going in. Solar is the one of the highest as far as the cost of investment, because you have to mine things like the lithium that goes in the batteries and everything. By the way, cutting off all ties with China, China is one of the biggest manufacturers of these batteries. They own the lithium for that area for their mining processes. The other biggest lithium deposit in the world is in Africa. So now we're going to go strip mine Africa. That's racist, is it not? We'd be having to force Africa to work for our needs. Yeah, we may pay them, but we'd be forcing Africans to work for our needs, strip mining their country, taking their resources. Wasn't that the argument about slavery not too long ago? Yet we're going to do it to an entire country now. Not our country, somebody else's country. Windmills. Do you still you people do realize that these windmill blades are over the size of an oversized 18-wheeler? Like, those normal 52 trucks? No, it's bigger than that. That's just one blade that runs off diesel fuel to travel. Now you still need oil to to lube the the turbine, the wind turbine. You still need oil to lube that up. Where's that coming from if we're going to get off fossil fuels? That is lubricant used to make sure that metal doesn't grind against metal and seize up. So where's that oil going to come from if we're not using fossil fuels? Lots of problems within that whole thought process, ain't it? But yet nuclear is bad because there's been a few nuclear incidents throughout the world that have caused problems, namely things like Chernobyl. But nuclear power plant by my house has been there for more than a decade. Almost 2 decades now. Not a single problem. Never heard of anything. Alarm's never gone off for it. Yet being here in this house that we have had the lowest energy bill I have ever seen in my life. Now it is going up because of inflation, the cost of energy going up across the board for everything. But our highest bill since I've lived in this house with my wife has been roughly around $230, and that's all utilities included: water, electricity, garbage, everything. Yeah. But that's going to go up because fuck Joe Biden. Actually, at that point, it'd be because fuck Donald Trump and his mean tweets. But yeah. That's my take on it. Regarding that they should pass a bill that requires all representatives and senators must take 5 days to research each bill. At least 5 days. I 100% agree. Look at the omnibus spending bill, dude. That was like damn near 6,000 pages. 6,000 pages that they were given less than 20 hours to read and vote on. 6,000 pages in less than 20 hours I'm supposed to read and understand the implications of all of that in there. Like the $15 million for gender studies in Pakistan. What? Yeah. Yeah, and they also add like the Inflation Reduction Act. You know, it's this is going to green energy, but we're also going to throw about a fifth of the funds to Native American reservations so they can have energy too, which they already have. What? Yeah. Every single bill should be one singular thing. One singular fucking thing should be in every single bill. I don't care if that means your workload is increased 100 times over. Guess what? It would be a fuck ton easier to read 102-page, 3-page documents than to read one 500-page document or something like that. And then when you strike it down because you've got an issue with one thing that's going to cause a huge problem, then you get everybody pissed off because the PACT Act that was supposed to help Americans, in the wording of it being mandatory spending of over $400 million, or million or billion, no, it was million, $400 million mandatory spending, makes it a cash grab. Turned it from discretionary, meaning, hey, you can spend it if you want to. You don't have to. You can save it. You can roll it over. If you don't need that money to worry about our veterans, keep it. Roll it over. Now it's mandatory. You have to do it. You have to spend it. Where's that money going to go to? Let's say not a single veteran goes to the VA in a year. Where's that $400 million going then? They have to spend it. See the problem? You're not helping the veterans. You're making it a cash grab for whoever and whatever they need to spend the money on. Here, fuck it. Donation, whatever. Get it off our fucking coffers because we have to. If not, we're going to pay a penalty on that money. Good job, America. And everybody's pissed off that the PACT Act was shut down and blaming it on Republicans who noticed that and said something about it. So now it's a problem because they don't want to help the veterans. You motherfuckers don't even understand the bills that they vote on. Here on TikTok, I made a little TikTok about it, and everybody's like, "Oh, you've never read it. You don't read it. Show me, show me, show me." I've issued 17 different fucking challenges for every single fucking person that ran their damn mouth about it. I issued them. Come on this show. We'll read the document, all the supporting documents. We'll look at every damn video that every politician has ever said about this. And when I prove you wrong, the moment you leave the chat or the moment you say I was wrong, I will take that video, I will take my hard-earned money, and I will promote that video across the fucking world to show you how dumb Americans really are. I will fucking do it. Issue still stands. 3 people have blocked me. The rest went silent or tried to deflect, saying, "Oh, you're gonna do this. You're not that. You're not smart." And then went silent themselves because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They never read it. They just go off somebody else on TikTok telling them what to think and how to feel about situations. Yet they vote, America. These are the motherfuckers voting for how you live. These are the motherfuckers voting for the people that make laws telling you how you live. And they're just stuck on social media. They don't want to think. They don't want to look this way. Most of them don't even know how to fucking find these bills. They keep saying, "Give me your source. Give me your link." Go get the bill. It's right there. Where is it? Where do I find it? Bitch made motherfucker. Shouldn't you know this as an American voter? Shouldn't you be paying attention to the politicians you voted into office on things like this? Shouldn't you know what they're voting on so you can say if they're doing a good job or not for you? And this is what the fuck you do. You just have some little TikTok star or somebody famous on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube personalities to tell you what the fuck is in the bill and how you should feel about it. Okay. Issue still stands to 17 now. It started out with about 10. More people have chimed in today. Issue still stands for those 17 motherfuckers to come on. We'll read it all. And I'll point out to you the fucking problem behind it. And I will use my money. For anybody who accepts that challenge, I will use my money to promote it, to show the entire world how fucking stupid you really are. Bet you won't. I mean, you've already gone silent as soon as I issued the challenge. Or you'll say things like, "Well, you're not going to show it because you want one fucking sentence in the bill to point out the point." Yeah, you can't understand wording, so how are you supposed to understand the difference between mandatory and discretion? Fuck you all. Anyway. Let's see. The IRS deleted a job posting Wednesday seeking a special agent willing to use deadly force for its law enforcement division. The deletion came amid renewed scrutiny of the IRS response to the Democrat-backed spending bill that would double the size of the agency. By the way, this was a 50-50 split to be passed, and it was goddamn Kamala Harris that broke the tie to pass the bill. This was a 50-50 split. 50 Democrats voted yes, 50 Republicans voted no. And Kamala Harris was the tiebreaker. Which is why the VP is there for things like that. Yes, I get you. But remember, when things cost more, because America is printing more money to pay for stupid shit like climate change and the IRS getting more money and all this dumb shit that has nothing to do with inflation. Remember who said yes? Let's see. As a special agent, you will combine your accounting skills with law enforcement skills to investigate financial crime. Okay. The job advertisement read, no matter what the source, no matter what the source, all income earned, both legal and illegal, has the potential of becoming involved in crimes with which fall within the investigative jurisdiction of the IRS criminal investigation. So if I were to sit here and sell drugs, you can get me for tax evasion if I don't report it. If I don't report to the IRS that I'm selling drugs from my house, which by the way means I'm going to jail because I'm selling drugs from my house. But if I don't report it, not only am I going to jail because I'm selling drugs from my house, but I'm going to jail for tax evasion. Because of the expertise required to conduct these complex financial investigations, IRS special agents are considered the premier financial investigators for the federal government. The job posting continued. The major duties listed in the job description include a level of fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job and being willing to able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. Why would you need to do that? I mean, if you're going after the billionaires for this kind of thing, why would they get violent? I mean, they have money in their pocket. Fuck, that's pocket change to them. Okay, whatever. Here's a check. Get out my face. Yet when they come for you, what do you expect to happen? When they come for you saying, hey, we're going to take let's just say a quarter of your yearly income for back taxes because you missed the button. What do you think's going to happen? So these IRS agents are only going for people that make over 400,000 a year? Are they? Are they really? Or are they coming after you? Which makes more sense? Which makes more sense that the fact that they can use deadly force on a search warrant, if need be, makes more sense that a rich person just signs a check away because he can afford to take the hit, or you defending your life from somebody who's going to slowly over time kill you. What makes more sense? Think about it logically here, ladies and gentlemen. It also included a requirement for carrying a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. And here is the post for that. Go ahead and look at this. Major duties: adhere to the highest standards of conduct, especially in maintaining honesty and integrity. Honesty and integrity from a government agency. Which, by the way, was the government agency, the only government agency that brought down Al Capone. Who couldn't get caught on anything else, nothing. They couldn't charge him with nothing except tax evasion. Now, granted, I'm glad they got his ass. But if they can get him, what do you think they're going to do to you? Work a minimum of 50 hours per week, which may include irregular hours, and be on call 24/7, including holidays and weekends. Okay, so if you're working a minimum of 50 hours a week, okay, you're on call 24/7 and working holidays and weekends, especially being part of the government agencies, wouldn't that be good paying? Like 85, 95, 100,000 a year, maybe even more. Now you know why they need so much to hire these 87,000 agents. Maintain a level of fitness necessary to effectively respond to life-threatening situations on the job. The rich wouldn't. The rich would not threaten their lives for pocket change, but the poor would do anything necessary for a change in living. Be willing to and able to participate in arrest, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. So you really believe that they're coming after the rich? Do you really believe that it's about the rich paying their fair share in taxes, which pay more per person than the average middle class American? Do you really think these agents are coming after Elon Musk? Do you really think these agents are coming after Trump, who spent more year on year on his taxes, which was proven by illegal means when they released his taxes? It was proven he paid more in taxes for the years that they released than he should have. He overpaid. You think these billionaires give a fuck about chump change? I mean, shit. Spending money to them is your yearly income. You think they're going to give a fuck about that? Would you give a fuck about that? All right. Special agents in the CI team are not new and have never been trained to handle handguns, shotguns, and long guns for years. So why now? If it's not an issue, if they're not coming after you, if they won't be auditing you to extract more wealth and money from you to send over to Ukraine, why are they being trained now? I mean, I'd love an answer to that. I know you guys can't answer that because you would have the same answer as me. Agents are issued one handgun for their career, according to the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. Okay, so they're issued a weapon, but they're not trained on it until now with 87,000. Wait. You're telling me. Hold on. I didn't even put two and two together till now. You're telling me gun violence is such a problem here in the United States, but the IRS agents that are already armed have absolutely no training with that weapon? But yet the legal gun carrying law abiding citizens that have AR-15s, no, they're the problem, right? They're the ones that are going out doing mass shooting. They're the ones that are out being a problem. Even though handguns are the biggest use of shootings. Yeah, but your long shooty sticks are the problem. Ladies and gentlemen, they will be coming for your taxes. I don't give a shit. Slap a label on. Put misleading information on this. They're coming for you. Mark my fucking words. All right. Moving on. I got another little video I want to show you. This is Peter Ducey talking to Karine Jean-Pierre about the. This was after the raid on Mar A Lago. And yes, I don't give a shit what your news source says. It was a fucking raid. We're going to go through the timeline of why. But go to the video real quick. Let me maximize this.
concern here that if you guys
Okay, apparently it's. Oh, my headset. That's right. My headset turned off. Hold on.
is there a concern here that if you guys don't say more, then these Republicans who are accusing this White House of weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the FBI, that's going to become the public sentiment. If you guys don't say once and for all, we are not doing that.
First of all, we're just not going to comment on the Department of Justice investigation.
Okay,
we're just not going to comment on that.
Is this White House weaponizing the Justice Department and the FBI against political opponents?
The president has been very clear from before he was elected, very clear on this. Hold on. Throughout his time in office.
I heard the quote. We will be playing the quote tonight at 6 o'clock. Is this administration weaponizing the Justice Department and the FBI against political opponents?
Peter, the president believes in the rule of law. The president believes in the independence of the Department of Justice.
That's a yes or no?
No, it's a yes or a no for you. I'm answering the question. You may not like it, but I'm answering the question, I'm answering the question, and I'm telling you that we are not going to comment on a criminal investigation. The president has been very clear. I laid out what his thoughts were back on January 7th in 2021 about how he saw the Department of Justice. And I'm just going to leave it there. We're not going to comment from here, from this White House, on a criminal investigation that is currently happening. The president believes in the independence of the Department of Justice.
That's a yes or no?
Yeah. Every bit of that. I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to shoot out word salad. I'm not going to comment on a damn thing, right? But wait a minute. Let me. Democrats primary. I think I misspelled the hell out of that. Where's the volume?
Easy. All the mayor has to do is, let's get something straight here. It's easy. All the mayor has to do is say, you are released from the non-disclosure agreement. Period. This is about transparency.
Is it about
from the very beginning? Whether it's your health record, whether it's your taxes, whether you have cases against you.
Wait. This is about transparency, whether it's about your health, whether it's about your taxes, whether you have cases against you. Holy shit. The search warrant was sealed by a judge so nobody could see what they were looking for in Mar A Lago. Yes, Jen Psaki, I never thought I would say it. Bring that fucking peppermint patty bitch back. I'd rather hear let's circle back to that at a later date than no, we're not going to talk. I don't care what you've got to say. I'm not commenting. I don't care. The president has said absolutely jack shit. And that's what we're going with.
Whether or not people have signed non-disclosure agreements. You think that women, in fact, were ready to say, I don't want anybody to know about what you did to me? That's not how it works. The way it works is they say, look, this is what you did to me. And the mayor comes along and his attorney say, I will give you this amount of money if you promise you'll never say anything. That's how it works.
How does it work again, Joe?
They say, look, this is what you did to me. And the mayor comes along and his attorney say, I will give you this amount of money if you promise you'll never say anything. That's how it works.
Again, one more time.
To me, and the mayor comes along and his attorney say, I will give you this amount of money if you promise you'll never say anything.
So bribery is how it works, right, Joe? So the mayor comes along and says, I'm going to give you this amount of money if you don't say a fucking thing about anything again. Hush money? Bribery? Oh, wait. What did you do as vice president in Ukraine? It makes fucking sense. I want y'all to hear that one more motherfucking time.
The way it works is they say, look, this is what you did to me, and the mayor comes along and his attorney says, I will give you this amount of money if you promise you'll never say anything. That's how it works.
That's how it works. Biden for fucking president. You get it yet? Okay. Let's rewind time a little bit to find out why Merrick Garland signed off on the warrant of Mar A Lago. Rewind time. Now, this comes from NPR. What happened with Merrick Garland in 2016 and why it matters now. Why does it matter? Now, this was written back in 2018. Okay. Does he want women to know what he did to them? No. Look, he's done nothing to women. It's the little kids. He wants the women to shut up about what he's done to the little kids. I mean, if the motherfucker's willing to touch kids on screen where he tweaked that girl's nipple, he's willing to sniff these children. He's willing to say, I love kids jumping on my lap. We have a huge red flag with the president of the United States. Yeah. So much has happened in the past 2 years that many have forgotten. Now, this was written back in 2018. So much has happened over the past 2 years that many have forgotten what happened to Merrick Garland spring of 2016. But filling in that recollection goes some distance in explaining a lot of what has happened since. To recap, Garland was nominated to fill the 2016 vacancy of the Supreme Court created by the death that February of Justice Antonin Scalia? Oh, Justice Scalia. Yeah. That name rings a fucking bell. Okay. An icon of conservative jurisprudence. Words. President Barack Obama quickly named Merrick Garland, then 63, to fill the seat. Garland had long been considered a prime prospect for the High Court, serving as Chief Justice of the United States Courts of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, a frequent source of justices that sometimes called the Little Supreme Court. Widely regarded as a moderate, Garland had been praised in the past by many Republicans, including influential senators such as Orrin Hatch of Utah. But even before Obama had named Garland, and in fact only hours after Scalia's death was announced, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell declared any appointment by the sitting president to be null and void. He said the next Supreme Court justice should be chosen by the next president to be elected later that year. Wait. Wasn't that the same argument with Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Remember? You know, she passed away and it was, Trump's going to appoint the next one. Amy Coney Barrett, something like that. Amy Coney Barrett. Wasn't that the same arguments the Democrats used? But 2 years before, the Republicans used. Shady shit on both sides, ladies and gentlemen. Shady shit on both fucking sides. Oh, how easily we forget. Of course, said McConnell, the American people should have a say in the court's decision. It's a presidential constitutional right to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and if it's the Senate's constitutional right to act as a check on the president and withhold its consent. True. Checks and balances do exist for a reason. McConnell had a point there. But it came back to bite you in the ass, did it not? Because, who sits on the Supreme Court now? By the way, I still believe it was her that leaked the documents. Because think about it, okay? Or not the documents, the opinion. Think about it. Who has access to those records? Who has access to an opinion before it's even brought? It would be, of course, the justice that wrote the opinion, their aides, or anybody that's close to the Supreme Court, especially somebody who will be sitting on the bench in just a few months' time. Now, she can't define a woman. She was very, very light on pedophile sentencing. She placated and she fucking pandered the entire time. Oh, what's this? They're going to overturn Roe versus Wade? Oh, he's talking about gay marriage? He's talking about interracial marriage? Oh no, this motherfucker's evil. Can't confirm it. That's just my 2 thoughts on that. Okay. Let's see. Supreme Court picks have often been controversial. There have been contentious hearings and floor debates and contested votes. But to ignore the nominee entirely as if no vacancy existed? It happened before this too. Stop playing games. There was no precedent for such an action since the period around the Civil War and Reconstruction. Oh, so you brought it up. Good job. No Democratic president had made an appointment while Republicans held the Senate since 1895. In a speech that August in Kentucky, McConnell would say, "One of my proudest moments was when I looked Barack Obama in the eye and said, 'Mr. President, you will not fill the Supreme Court vacancy.'" Oh, you're telling a black man what he will do. Wait. That's not racist. I'm sorry, I took it to that level. I'm sorry, I took it to that level. I straight up didn't. I don't give a fuck. I'm not sorry. McConnell was not alone. The 11 Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee signed a letter saying that they had no intention of consenting to any nominee from Obama. No proceedings of any kind. Wait. Wasn't Obama talking about packing the Supreme Court too? I remember something that under his term. Or was it Bush? I don't think it was Bush. I think it was Obama. I don't know. I have to look into that. No proceedings of any kind were held on Garland's appointments. The court had to convene that October with only 8 justices, divided often between the 4 appointed by Democrats and the 4 appointed by Republicans. Short-handed, the court deadlocked on a number of issues and declined to hear others. As is their right at that point in time. But the wheels of government turn slowly, and sometimes they're jammed up altogether. Hey, McConnell, how's it feel to use the same ammunition you threw back then? How did it feel to have the same ammunition you used back then thrown back at you? Fuck. Addison, that must hurt. 2 years later, you got your butt cheek spread and your hole stretched. Turtle fuck needs to go, right? Democrats were outraged, of course, but were short of tools which to respond. As a minority party following the disastrous midterm in 2014, they could not force a committee or a floor vote. They gave speeches and they urged voters to turn out and protest in November elections, blah, 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 fucking blah. Obviously, Merrick Garland does not sit on the U.S. Supreme Court because he was denied. We know this. This is hindsight being 2020 at this point. Just a little bit of information as to what happened, right? Well, guess what? Last year, the FBI raided Rudy Giuliani's home. A year later, he's still under investigation. Y'all remember this shit? Because he was involved in the big lie. By the way, Democrats are setting up the big lie should they lose the midterms. They're already saying the elections are going to be rigged. Same shit in 2020. Here we go. Y'all ready? But yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all remember this because damn near everybody was politically active at this point in time. It's been exactly 1 year since federal agents searched the home and office of Rudy Giuliani, the former lawyer for President Trump and a key Trump ally. In the 12 months that followed, Giuliani had not been charged with any crime, but there is no indication of high-profile probe is winding down. Earlier this month, Giuliani was reported to have helped investigators by unlocking several devices. Okay. So he was helping the investigators. So why the fuck did you raid his house? Important point that we will, as Peppermint Patty would say, circle back to. Circle backy, Jackie Secchi. Yeah. Earlier this month, Giuliani was reported to have helped investigators by unlocking several devices. Meanwhile, a retired judge appointed by the court spent months reviewing Giuliani's claims of privilege over seized materials. While prosecutors have said little about their work, Giuliani's lawyer, Robert Costello, indicated in a court filing late August that investigators are focused on Giuliani's activity in Ukraine in 2018 and 2019, but we're not focused on Joe Biden's quid pro quo to save his son from being indicted and imprisoned in Ukraine. Dear God, I feel a stupidity aneurysm coming on again. While prosecutors said little about their work, Giuliani's lawyer... Oh, yeah, I already read that. Giuliani told the New Yorker from an article in December 2019, I believe that I needed Yana Nokovic. Who the fuck? Yavanov word. That person's name. I believe I needed that person out of the way. She was going to make the investigations difficult for everybody. Did you just misgender her? Did you just assume her gender? That's not a thing back then. I get you. Oh, wait. Yeah, it was. Was her pronoun she, her? You fucking bigot. Anyway. Giuliani had been under investigation by prosecutors in New York since about 2019 when they charged with two of his associates, blah, blah, blah. Y'all can go back and look at that. The point is, so the Attorney General, who was stopped by Mitch McConnell to be put onto the Supreme Court, that he once heralded and said, yes, let's praise him. This motherfucker was the one that signed off onto the warrant on Mar A Lago. Okay? FBI raid exposes Giuliani and signals wild in criminal search history. Experts say goes into a little bit more about his shit and how he was raided and what he was doing. All that. They made a big fucking deal about this, only to come up with what again? Absolutely nothing, as far as I remember. Kind of like the Russia collusion hoax. You know, that Russia meddled with the 2016 election to get Donald Trump elected. That went on for years, only for the FBI to say, yeah, we knew it was a lie, but we just ran with it. Oh. And try to shake hands with shadows or ghosts. Unique man. Does he want women to know what he did to them? You on Twitch too for now? Yes. Yes. Torque. I'm on both YouTube and Twitch, yes. The only difference is on Twitch it's voices because voice of the people was taken. So just add an S to voice and you'll find me. Germany can't connect. I can PlayStation. Thanks at a festival right now. Can't really join. Say hi to Drunken Games. Tell him I said hi. It's been a minute. I want to hook back up with him. I want to talk to that motherfucker on stream too. I feel like that would be an interesting conversation. Tell him as soon as you see him again. Let him know. I'll find him again, but let him know I'd like to talk to his ass on this too. I think that would be fun. Let's see. Now let's go back here. Now this happened after the little Mar A Lago thing, not too long after, but FBI seizes Rep. Scott Perry's phone. It's not immediately clear what information agents sought from the Pennsylvania Republican, a top ally of former President Donald Trump. It's not immediately clear what the information agents sought from the Pennsylvania Republican, a top ally of former President Donald Trump. Framing, ladies and gentlemen, right in the subtitle. Framing in the subtitle. Oh, let's bring up fucking Orange Man and his connection to Orange Man. Orange Man, because January 6th and he incited an insurrection. Orange Man's so bad. He's doing a lot of bad things that we can't seem to find anything wrong with. 7 years of investigating that fucking asshole. And you still can't find shit. So why the fuck do you continue? I mean, we all know why. Seriously, we all know why it continues. Because they're just looking for any reason or any excuse to stop him from running in 2024. Meanwhile, you dumb motherfuckers, let me ask you a question. If you stop Trump from running in 2024, what stops people from voting for DeSantis? Because I don't think DeSantis is going to play ball. Now, he may not be as knowledgeable in the inner workings of the government as Trump is. But even from prison, what stops the president of the United States, number one, calling the dude in prison, and number two, pardoning him for some made-up crimes that you put him away for? Y'all motherfuckers ain't thinking this through, are ya? Because let's be honest, who do you have on the Democratic side? What are you going to do? Run Joe Manchin? That may be your best option. But not a single fucking Democrat likes that guy. You think he's going to win the Democratic primary like Tulsi Gabbard should have? Or maybe even Bernie Sanders? I mean, that motherfucker got it stolen from him. He had the highest turnout for Democrats. And yet you chose Joe Biden? What? So who do you have now? I mean, let's just be honest. Back then, I'd have voted for Tulsi Gabbard. Especially after the debates where she dropped that fucking nuke on Kamala. Brought up her past about about keeping people in prison longer for free labor for California. The whole Willie Brown incident. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as she said that, I was just like, I'm paying attention to you. And I started listening to her a little bit, and I was like, you're not bad. I could vote for you. Yeah. All right, back then, I was a Democrat. Back then, I registered Democrat. Back then, other than Obama, second term, I voted Democrat down ticket. I'd have straight up voted for Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, that bitch is on fire now still, but she's no longer in politics. All right, let's look into this. Oh, and please, for the love of God, I know y'all are talking about it. It's been thrown around. Please run Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alex Stein's big booty Latina. Please run her. For the love of God, run her. I'm serious. The political execution she would have on the stage. Even if you ran Mitch McConnell, he'd run circles around that. I'm sorry. Even if you ran Addison O'Connell. Addison McConnell, whatever the fuck the turtle fuck. Even if you ran him, he would run circles around that dumb bitch. Please run her. I'm not saying this because I'll probably vote Republican this year. Definitely, because you got nobody else to stand on, and everything you fucking done throughout this entire presidency, throughout Trump's entire presidency. Why the fuck would I vote Democrat? You have no fucking leg to stand on for me to vote Democrat on. Please run that bitch. I would fucking live stream, even if it's just me sitting here and fucking Abel's not with me, or I can't get anybody else to join at that time. I will sit here and live stream those fucking debates. God, that would be the most entertaining show on television at that point. It don't even matter who you put against her. That would be entertaining as fuck to watch. This morning, while traveling with my family, 3 FBI agents visited me and seized my cell phone. As said in a statement issued through, I love the Pennsylvania Republican. Now, I understand most people need to know if they're Republican or Democrat because they don't know who the fuck these people are. 99.99999 repeating percent of Americans don't know who these people are. So you got to add the framing, right? They made no attempt to contact my lawyer, who would have made arrangements for them to have my phone if that was their wish. Wait. So FBI agents just ran up on you and took your phone. But they should have gone through your lawyer first to let your lawyer know that they had a warrant and to give you the ability to turn the phone over. So the FBI just does what they want now, huh? I mean, Russiagate. Perry's attorney, John Raleigh, who is also a member of Trump's legal team, did not respond. Oh, there it is again. Who is also a member of Trump's legal team. Bring up Trump, and everybody thinks no matter what you say, you're a liar. If you are in any way connected to Trump, you're automatically a liar. Framing, ladies and gentlemen. Subtle little hints to make you feel a certain way. The framing. Now let's read that sentence without that little bit of information. Perry's attorney, John Raleigh, did not respond to the request for comment. Okay. Perry's attorney, John Raleigh, who is also a member of Trump's legal team. Holy shit! See how it changes the subject there? See how it changes the mindset? See how it changes the way you feel about it? The FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington declined to comment. Perry's statement didn't detail what the FBI wanted from his phone, but he has been a figure of interest in congressional investigators probing Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. Yeah. Okay. So the January 6 hearings are going incredibly swimmingly, right? We all know they're just knocking it out the fucking park with hearsay and bullshit evidence and even taking Tim Pool's video as evidence that they radicalized. That was even dumber than Cassidy Hutchinson saying, a person told me that this person told them that this happened and the president tried to strangle him and somehow this fat ass jumped between the seats and grabbed a steering wheel and then tried to grab him by the neck, telling him, take me to the White House or take me to the Capitol. Yeah, the Secret Service agents who she mentioned in her whole statement, both of them were like, he's lying. None of that ever fucking happened. I'm willing to testify. Have they? Perry's statement didn't detail whether the FBI wanted from his phone, but he has been a figure of interest in congressional investigations probing Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election. Perry, a key ally in the effort, pressed Trump to replace Justice Department leaders and install a little-known official, Jeffrey Clark, atop the department. Clark has signaled support from Trump's efforts to call on the legislators to reconvene and consider appointing alternate electors to swing the outcome towards Trump. Let's watch this a little bit here. What is this?
On the same day, Acting Attorney General Rosen told Mr. Clark to stop talking to the White House.
Representative Pansy ass up on the stage here. Oh, we're not going to do this? Is this not what was... This can't happen, right? No, we can't watch the video.
On the same day, Acting Attorney General Rosen told Mr. Clark to stop talking to the White House, Representative Perry was urging Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to elevate Clark within the Department of Justice. You can now see on the screen behind me a series of texts between Representative Perry.
Mark, just checking in as time continues to count down. 11 days to go, 1/6, and 25 days to inauguration. We got to get going.
And Mr. Meadows. They show that Representative Perry requested that Mr. Clark be elevated within the department. Representative Perry tells
Mark, you should call Jeff. I just got off the phone with him, and he explained to me why the principal deputy won't work, especially with the FBI. They will view it as not having the authority to enforce what needs to be done.
Mr. Meadows on December 26th that, quote, Mark, just checking in as time continues to count down. 11 days to January 6th and 25 days to inauguration. We've got to get going. Representative Perry followed up and says, quote, Mark, you should call Jeff. I just got off the phone with him, and he explained to me why the principal deputy won't work, especially with the FBI. They will view it as not having the authority to.
Mark Meadows says, I got it. I think I understand. Let me work on the deputy position.
To enforce
Roger just sent you something on Signal. Just sent you an
what
updated
needs
file.
to be done.
Did you call Jeff
Mr.
Clark?
Meadows responds with, I got it. I think I understand. Let me work on the deputy position. Representative Perry then texts, Roger, just sent you something on Signal.
Okay, now let me ask you a question.
President Donald Trump.
Oh, you shut the fuck up. Nobody said you could talk in my goddamn screen. I'm sorry, that was a little bit too much, was it not? Whatever. Let me ask you a question. Now, as over 60% of America now believes that something happened in 2020, I got to skirt around language here on YouTube. But now, as over 60% of America believes something happened in 2020, and you were working against having a job that the people wanted you to have stolen from you. Does that sound like they were trying to overthrow the government? Or does that sound like they were actually trying to work to do something about it? Now, you can frame it any way you want to. If you believe that the insurrection was an insurrection by Donald Trump, that's damning evidence. But if somebody were trying to steal a job from me, I'd do everything I can to prove it. January 6th panel subpoena Perry in May, but he has brushed off the summons. By the way, what about that file? It was sent on Signal, but that file had to come from somewhere, be stored on something, and be sent somewhere, which there would be records of. May not be records of it on Signal. There would be records of it on all the devices where that file was created and transferred from. What about it? The Justice Department's interest in Perry may relate to the January 6th attack on the Capitol, but it may also intersect with the probe in Trump's handling of the White House records. Now we're starting to get into the Mar A Lago incident. Okay, let's go. The January 6th committee revealed in April that Perry and Trump's last chief of staff, Mark Meadows, communicated by the encrypted messaging app Signal about matters connected to the 2020 election, and it is unclear whether either man retained those messages. Similarly, the Select Committee received testimony that Meadows burned certain papers after meeting in the White House with Perry. Meadows was a founding member of the pro-Trump Freedom Caucus, of which Perry is now the chair of. By the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but there's like, let me see this. I'm going to have to stop right here because this kind of brought it up to me, and this was fucking hilarious. Yeah, apparently there's a story where over 2 years now, images, over 2 years now, right? Somebody has come out saying they found documents where it looks like Trump's handwriting, but we don't know who wrote it. Found in a toilet. By the way, that looks conveniently placed there, but look at the toilet. Look at the surroundings of the toilet. I don't know if you've been to the White House, but even the public restrooms in the White House have better toilets than that. But you're going to tell me that's the president's toilet. You're going to tell me that shitty decor on the floor, the baseboards, the walls that just look shittily done are in the White House. You motherfuckers are gonna tell me that's a toilet from the White House from over 2 fucking years ago that somebody took a picture of and never said shit about? I just had to bring that up because what I just read kind of brought that brought that up in my mind. But you gonna tell me that that right there is a White House toilet? That looks like something from a restaurant bathroom or a small apartment. Yeah. Come to fuck on, ladies and gentlemen. The FBI's confiscation of Perry's phone is not without recent precedent. Authorities seized the phone of Senator Richard Burr in 2020 as part of an investigation into his stock trading prices, while Nancy Pelosi's insider trading is common fucking knowledge and you do nothing. Through the Justice Department later ended in probe without pursuing any charges against him. Bill Burr stepped down from his chairmanship of the Senate Intelligence Committee amid the controversy and announced he would not seek re-election to his Senate seat. Why it matters, right? It's not every day FBI agents approach a sitting member of Congress as part of an apparent law enforcement operation. It's even more unusual when the FBI agents go so far as to take the lawmaker's phone. There's been a lot of precedent set here recently, hasn't there? With this in mind, the fact that this appears to have happened to key Pennsylvania Republican is a rather extraordinary development. In the interest of specificity, yeah, it's probably worth emphasizing that we all have to go on his story, is Perry's word. Federal officials have not confirmed any of this, and I haven't seen independent verification of the GOP congressman's version of the events. That said, it is unlikely that the far right, framing again, ladies and gentlemen, framing once the fuck again. Everything's far right. If you don't toe that fucking line and believe everything that they spew out, including that Biden knew nothing about the raid on Mar A Lago, which maybe he didn't, because the motherfucker was busy shitting his pants or wandering off to go get ice cream trucks, which is my favorite fucking meme, by the way. They did fact check that. I don't give a shit what the fact check says. I believe that motherfucker left Joe Biden talking to go chase an ice cream machine. Anyway, if you fact check something, I'm gonna fucking believe it's true. All right, whatever. But yeah, there it is. The framing in that shit. The far right lawmaker. Anything, if you don't toe the fucking line, you're far right, right? Tim Pool's far right. Joe Rogan's far right. I'm wondering when they're gonna start calling Destiny far right. I'm wondering when that's going to happen. Kind of feel like it's soon because while he still sticks to his gun with political viewpoints, he's not talking like a Democrat, not talking like a liberal. So let's work from the assumption that Perry was traveling. Oh, let's work from the assumption. Let's just assume shit. We don't know what's happening. We don't know what's going on, but we're just going to paint the narrative. We're just going to paint what we want you to believe. While traveling, Riley was approached by 3 FBI agents who proceeded to seize his cell phone. The question, of course, is why in the world would they do that? So, where's the question mark? Editing. For now, we'll have to wait for real clarity on the answer. But the important thing to remember is that the congressman is not just a random figure on Capitol Hill. Circling back to our earlier coverage, it was late last year when the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack announced that it wanted to hear answers from a specific Republican lawmaker, Perry. Okay. So we're assuming things here. We're assuming the way things played out. We're assuming how everything, how it all went down, while not taking his word for it in any way. Because God forbid, he's far right. We can't believe what he's got to say. Because we painted him as far right to make you feel a certain way, now automatically discredits anything he could say because he's far right. MSNBC said it. He's far right, so it's got to be true. MSNBC, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, NewsGuard has now considered MSNBC to be fake news. Yet USA Today, who had 23 news stories removed because their reporter made shit up, still 100 out of 100. Perfect fucking score. They're the most trustworthy news story. Yet they removed stories because it was all made up bullshit. It was at that point that many Americans probably asked, who? There's no shortage of high-profile members in the House GOP conference, but Perry isn't necessarily one of them. Unlike some of the Republican brethren who never missed an opportunity to appear in the media, Perry likely couldn't be picked out of a lineup by much of the public. You goddamn right. You damn right. Because you never put him on anywhere front line for anybody to notice. So if you didn't vote for the man, if you weren't listening to what he was saying or anything like that, how would you know who the fuck he is? Right? Like this motherfucker just crawled out of nowhere. But yet he's a big player. He's a big component of the big lie and the deadliest day in American history since the Civil War. Okay. But as new information comes to light about the GOP efforts to overturn the 2020 election, wasn't just GOP efforts, let's just be honest. But let's not talk about that because we can't talk about that. Perry's name is coming up. January 6th committee hearing last month, for example, we learned of a December 2020 White House meeting focused on the Republican scheme to overturn the last presidential election. Among the participants was Scott Perry. With over 60% of Americans now believing something happened, something really, really strange happened, y'all need to stop with the framing. And you wonder why our news media is now in the single fucking digits as far as support and belief of the American people. That's right. Mainstream media is now single-digit approval rating by the American people. A month earlier, we learned at a different January 6 hearing about the GOP lawmaker who allegedly sought pardons from Trump before he left office. Among them was Scott Perry. Allegedly sought pardons? Allegedly? He did go after a lot of pardons. He didn't pardon Julian Assange, who told us a lot of things within the government are fucked up. He didn't pardon Edward Snowden, who was a whistleblower, who also said a lot of things in our government are fucked up. But he allegedly, not confirmed, he just said he did it, allegedly sought a pardon for Scott Perry. Okay. Around the same time, we saw testimony from former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson. This dumb bitch. You brought her up? Who said under oath that Trump discussed ideas with allies about going to the Capitol on January 6th. Among those, the then president talked about was Scott Perry. Okay. This bitch also said that fat son of a bitch leaped in between the seats of an SUV, grabbed the steering wheel, and with the other hand, grabbed at the throat of the driver. And she was told all this by somebody else who those agents told them to. But why did she have a reason to lie? She's Republican. She's a trumpet. Why would she lie about it? I guarantee you'll see her come up pretty soon in the news cycle. Probably by the end of this year, next year, that she's got some, of course she's been enriched by it. That'll come up. But she's got some kind of higher seat in office now. Because the ones that lie for you are the ones that they take care of. A month before that, we learned of allegations that when White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows literally set fire to papers in his office after meeting with a congressional Republican, the lawmaker was Scott Perry. Oh. He literally set fire to paper. Okay. I've done that. Does that mean I'm trying to overturn the 2020 election? I mean, that's in every damn little spy movie. That's in every drama movie where somebody burns a note that he doesn't want anybody to see. Does it look suspicious? Fuck yeah, it does. But that note could have also been from his mistress saying, "Come fuck me." When CNN obtained thousands of text messages Meadows received from Republican allies in the run-up to January 6th, they showed one White House member who pushed unusually bonkers conspiracy theories about votes being changed by Italian satellites. The member was Scott Perry. I remember something about that, but can't say that on YouTube. Can't say that on YouTube. I'll just say this. It is funny that there are a lot of news stories out there of people being arrested for election mishandling, especially in Arizona and Pennsylvania. Fact check that shit. I dare you. The fact just weeks after January 6th, we learned how Trump came to be in contact with an anti-election lawyers such as Jeffrey Clark, who was relatively obscure Justice Department official at the time. It turns out a House Republican helped put Clark in the then president radar. The Republican was Scott Perry. And yesterday it was the same GOP congressman whose phone was taken by the FBI. Watch this space. So somebody who knows something about something, they came after to grab the phone to try to implicate him in a whole bunch of made up bullshit for January 6th, as we have seen with this committee. This sounds like a political hit, does it not? This sounds like they're trying to take out people that they can't beat politically, so therefore they can imprison. Nobody will believe them because they've been in prison for crimes that probably did not commit. And he can never hold office again, even if he gets out. Wait. Sounds like that fat fuck Trump too, right? I mean, for what, 7 years now, they've been targeting his ass for all this random shit. It's kind of funny how that everybody loved him before he ran for president, but as soon as he ran as a Republican, now everybody hates him, right? Now he's a racist. Now he's a sexist. Now he's this. Now he's that. Really interesting. But so the raid on Mar A Lago happens not too long ago, right? People on the left, the right, people are in the middle, are pissed off at this. And rightfully so. Because never before in history has a sitting president or a former sitting president ever been raided like this, looking for something, anything, to hurt the man. Did they do it with Bush? Because they knew about 9/11. They let that shit happen. Was it an inside job? I do believe so. I do believe so. I can't prove it, but I believe it. They didn't do it for Bush. What about all the things that Clinton did? Hillary Clinton. You know, the server incident, you know, where she was smashing cell phones with hammers after the Department of Justice said, turn it all over, we need evidence. She smashed cell phones with hammers and used BleachBit program to wipe her home server because she had classified information in an unsecured location. No, well, we got to throw out the entire investigation now. Fuck. She did something to destroy evidence. Now we can't do anything to her. Shit. Did they do this for Obama when he took thousands of documents saying he was going to digitize them, never returned them, and never digitized to release to the public? Did they do it then? No. But you're going to sit here and we're not going to read all these articles because you can go back and look at it all. It's framing fucking bullshit over and over and over again, trying to implicate, trying to make you feel a certain way about the situation. Here's what fucking happened. Okay. He was actually working with the FBI. The FBI had come into Mar A Lago before, and they were looking for these things. They knew they were there, right? They knew they were in that room. Now, at his request, they told him to secure that room even more, so they threw a padlock on. Now, I know the FBI is sectional and everything like that. It's not like a huge hierarchy of everything like that. Maybe they didn't know. But if the entire federal government is after this man, don't you think somebody would have known that lock was there and could have gotten a key? But yet they break the lock. Right? They break the fucking lock. Why? Why? When all you had to do was just, hey, there's a lock there that we put there, right? Yeah, where's that key? Hey, can I have that key? We're gonna go raid this motherfucker. Yeah. What about that? Sounds right in any way. Let's see. Judge who approved FBI's Mar A Lago search represented clients linked to Jeffrey Epstein. I remember that little pedophilic fuck, right? Yeah, everybody remembers that. By the way, we still don't have the names. Why you're raiding Trump's home for some dumb shit? They're raiding little girls' womb lands. Still. But yeah. Apparently the lawyer or the judge that signed the warrant there to raid Mar A Lago was the same lawyer at the time that represented Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the fact that Jeffrey Epstein's little black book would probably implicate a lot of motherfuckers within our own political system. He signs a warrant to do all this shit. For what reason? Knowing it would set off America, not to the backlash that this is created, because even prominent left-leaning people, left-wing people are now saying this has gone too far. Y'all have started something you can't fucking stop. Why would he do that? Time to start thinking, America. Because shit's getting fucking real very quickly. All right, from CNN, I'm just going to try to wrap this up real quick and give you the basics of it, because my wife's got a friend coming over here and she's going to be loud as shit, not running through the house and slinging the doors open and shit, and it's going to get real loud. So I figured I'd have enough time, but I've been going off on rant and I used up a lot of it. So, FBI executed search warrant at Trump's Mar A Lago in document investigation. Now, they were there for, what was it, about 9 hours or so? While Trump was in New York. By the way, didn't New York say Trump wasn't allowed back in, and if he ever came back in, they'd arrest him? Wasn't that a thing back then? What about all those criminal and civil investigations and charges that they were trying to bring up there in New York for Trump? What about all that? Wait, that's right. Everybody was talking about it, and then it was memory hold when nothing ever happened because they had nothing. But yeah, they ran up there in the middle of the night and stayed there. And there are some unconfirmed reports that the agents were going through Melania Trump's wardrobe and put on a little fashion show in her clothing. Unconfirmed. It's not a. I'm going to say it happened. Why else would you be there for 9 fucking hours? If you know where to go, what you're looking, well, you're supposed to know what you're looking for. Why the fuck would you be there for 9 hours? Why the fuck would you need to be in her wardrobe? So if you're killing time fucking off, making a political fucking statement, making a grandstand of it all, I'm inclined to believe that happened. Okay. Yeah, the Mar A Lago, this is, I can't read it because it's behind a fucking paywall, but we can read the whole point of it. The Mar A Lago search warrant has become a hot topic for speculation. Here's what we really know. She's asleep, Stork, but I will tell her as soon as I get the chance. In the days since the unprecedented FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Mar A Lago residence, a club in Florida, and his safe, Republicans and Democrats alike had tried to spin the operation for their own political purposes. That's especially the case with the search warrant, which has been sealed by a judge. Everything else has been put behind a paywall. But that's been one of the topics that everybody wants to talk about. No, Trump won't release it. Trump won't release it. Number one, if it's not sealed, it's public knowledge. You may have to pay a little bit of money, but you can get it your damn self. Trump doesn't have to release it. You can go to any of these little background checks and find the shit if it's not sealed by a court fucking judge. But the fact that the judge sealed it, why would you seal it? I mean, if this is all on the up and up, if everything that you have done is on the up and up, and it knew this was just going in there to get exactly everything that you needed, why would you seal it? And because of the political backlash and left, right, center, everybody's screaming about this shit. Justice Department asked the federal court to unseal warrant used to search Mar A Lago. Merrick Garland, the son of a bitch, has signed off on the warrant because political revenge on Republicans for not putting him on the Supreme Court. Yeah, we'll go after your biggest political face, basically. We're going to go after the right political leader. All this is for revenge. All this is a political fucking hit. There would be no reason why you would need to steal the warrant if you weren't trying to hide something. But now they're going to unseal it, and there's what is this? See, can we? United States motion to unseal limited warranted materials. Yeah, I guarantee you a lot of that is going, when they do unseal it, a lot of it is going to be redacted. It's going to be probably almost illegible because a lot of it will be redacted. But anyway, little bug flying around. But yeah. See, then we got Garland moves to unseal Trump warrant. I personally approve of the search. Turn on my headset again.
Let me address recent unfounded.
You're going to fucking do it just because I maximize the screen before playing. You son of a fuck. You going to do it again?
Let me address recent unfounded attacks on the professionalism of the FBI and Justice Department agents and prosecutors. I will not stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked.
Is it unfairly
Men
attacked?
and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants.
Are they?
Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights. They do so at great personal sacrifice and risk to themselves. I am honored to work alongside them. Let me address recent unfounded.
Play it. You little
overreach and politicization.
Get your fucking dumb ass off my screen. There's a point I want to make here, but
let me address recent
bitch just keeps
unfounded
showing up.
attacks on the professionalism of the FBI department, our dedicated, patriotic public servants.
Okay, here we go.
The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants.
Dedicated, patriotic public servants. They've been investigating people since the Patriot Act was put into place. Patriotic? They've been doing the bidding of these political fucking nut jobs since then. While they demonize parents for trying to protect their kids in schools and call them domestic terrorists, yeah, they're serving your best interest, right? Yeah, they're serving your best interest when they arrest a man and call him a domestic terrorist for sticking up for his daughter that was sexually assaulted in a bathroom. Anally raped in a bathroom by a boy in a skirt. And they tried to cover it up. So the father goes through these parent-teacher conferences and justifiably gets angry, gets pissed, starts making a scene. And the cops manhandle his ass out. He's a domestic terrorist. You speak out about what they're doing to kids in school, what they're teaching them, you're a domestic terrorist. Fuck, you got a Gadsden flag? You're a domestic terrorist. If you're not on a watch list here in America by this point, you're not American. Every time I fly somewhere, I have problems with my ticket. Nobody else does around me. Everybody that I've worked with, that I've gone out of town, that I work with, not a single problem. But every single time, it's my ticket. If you're not on the list by now, you're not an American. Plain up. You're towing the line for these fucking communistic cocksuckers that are literally trying to overthrow the government. And they say Donald Trump is. They're taking out every single one of our institutions. They are weaponizing every bit of these alphabet agencies against the people of the United States. They shut down any single person that asks questions or says, I don't agree with what you're doing. They're demonizing, deplatforming every single person that speaks up about this shit. Yet the FBI is patriotic.
Every day, they protect the American people from violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding our civil rights.
Violent crime, terrorism, and other threats to their safety while safeguarding their civil rights. Whose civil rights are you talking about? You silence us. You're trying to take our guns. You're saying literally if Trump isn't guilty, he can't plead. He shouldn't have to plead the Fifth Amendment. You're just taking away everything. You've literally attacked the first 10 commandments of the United States of America in some way, shape, or form. Okay, 9 of the 10. You haven't gone after, well, you have gone after the 10th Amendment. You have gone after the 10th Amendment, especially with overturning Roe versus Wade, which means 10th Amendment states if Congress cannot pass a law, it must go back to the states for the states to make that decision. Guess what? Overturning Roe versus Wade, now we need to codify this. We need to codify that. We need to codify whatever the fuck we can right now. You have literally attacked even the fucking 10th Amendment of the United States of America. But they're protecting your civil rights. By investigating you for just speaking up. By investigating you for not towing the line. By investigating you for not taking a jab. For not putting on a mask. You're now a domestic terrorist. We're leaning Republican? You're a domestic terrorist by not believing the flat out fucking obvious lies that they spew on a daily damn basis. Or they don't even say anything at all, apparently. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to discuss that. We're not going to speak on any of these things going on. No, we're not. No. Peter Ducey. No, Peter. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it, okay? We're just not going to do it. But transparency is needed. And what Joe Biden says, how does it work? The mayor comes to you and says, I'm going to give you this money if you don't as long as you shut your mouth. That's how America works now, right? Okay. So more information has come up about this. FBI seized 11 sets of classified documents in Trump's Mar A Lago raid. They say. FBI recovered 11 sets of classified documents, including some marked top secret and only meant to be available in special government facilities. What the fuck about Obama? Those documents were never returned. They were never digitized. Never to be seen again. What? If you went after him, would that be racist because he's black? Or is it because he was a sitting president and he knows a lot of information and he toes the fucking line? What about Hillary Clinton, who destroyed fucking phones and wiped the goddamn server where she had classified information? Why is she still free to campaign, to laugh about this shit, and start campaigning to raise funds for what? For what? You gonna run in 2024 again? Bitch, I hope you do. Yet they say that Trump's just using all this to play the right wing, the Trumplicans, the trumpets, the conservatives. He's just using these things for you to give him money. Meanwhile, Hillary fucking Clinton is doing the exact same goddamn thing, and you fucking cheer it. Wall Street Journal citing a leaked inventory of what was taken from the Palm Beach resort reported the agents removed around 20 boxes as well as handwritten notes, binders of photos, Trump's clemency grant to his longtime advisor Roger Stone, along with the classified materials collected were 4 sets of top secret documents, 3 sets of secret documents, and 3 of confidential documents, according to the 3-page list that they knew were there and padlocked themselves. Now, if this motherfucker wanted to take it out, $30 pair of bolt cutters, snip, snip, none the wiser until they pulled this raid. Because when they padlocked, they never came back. One set was marked various classified TS/SCI documents, which is the abbreviation for top secret, sensitive, compartmented information. While the list also included a reference to information related to the president of France. Macron? At that time, it was Macron, right? Because he was just reelected. And by the way, let's step down now. You talking about Macron? "2024 Jimmy Dore, 2024 Scott Ryan." Oh yeah, dude. I listen to as much as I can from everybody. all political aisles. I listen to as much as I can. Yes. I do know what they have to say about it. Jimmy Dore is he's sounding a lot spot on a lot of the shit. Yes, I do know about it. Fox News, which obtained a copy of the search warrant, reported that the document authorized the FBI to seize all physical documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, fruits of crimes, or other items illegally possessed. So basically, you're fishing for anything. What? Let me sign this search warrant to raid a former president's house, break a lock that we installed, and take everything that we can legally, actually it was illegally, take to find something to stick to this man. Things that we knew were there. Things that we have secured ourselves. We need to make a fucking scene, go in there so we can find something that we know is there. Y'all get it yet? Why the fuck is that just a picture? Did I bring up just a picture by accident? Yeah, apparently I clicked on something. From the Washington Post. You know, Jeff Bezos' company? Yeah. That hired, that still has on payroll Taylor Lorenz, the one who doxed Libs of TikTok after she cried about being bullied online and then cried about people doxing her. Yeah, she's still employed. FBI searches Trump's home to look for nuclear documents and other items, sources say. Okay. Well, fucking stop. I challenge every single fucking person listening right now. After we're done, go on Google. Any question in your mind right now or in the future about nuclear weapons, nuclear sales, anything of that, I challenge you to go on Google and just type the question in. See what you find. Because there are over 300 nuclear weapons that we have. They will give you a list of where they're stored. They will give you a list of who's in command of those weapons. They will give you a list of the sales that we have done. The only thing that you cannot find about nuclear capabilities of this country or any country around the world is the nuclear codes, which changes fucking daily. So if he had nuclear codes sitting in his house, they change daily. What the fuck does it matter? This is months fucking old. Years old. If he had codes, what the fuck does it matter? It's not going to work. Classified documents to nuclear weapons were among items FBI agents sought in a search of former President Donald Trump's Florida residence on Monday, according to the people familiar with the investigation. According to people familiar with the investigation, which has turned up to be, I'm just going to make up some shit because that's what we do now. We're just going to sit here and type it up and our sources, trust me, bro. Experts in classified information said the unusual search underscores deep concern among government officials about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar A Lago club and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. There you fucking go, ladies and gentlemen. Experts in classified information said the unusual search underscores deep concern among government officials about the types of about the types of information they thought could be located at Trump's Mar A Lago club and potentially in danger of falling into the wrong hands. You mean the same fucking shit I can Google? Is that what the fuck you're talking about? These documents that could be anything and everything about the America's nuclear capability that I can fucking Google? Except for U.S. nuclear codes that change on a daily goddamn motherfucking basis. So you're saying you raided this motherfucker's house to find documents that you thought were there that could potentially wind up in the wrong hands when all these motherfuckers need is the internet? Are you starting to get the picture? This is a political fucking hit. They can't beat him politically. So they got to do whatever, wherever, however. 7 fucking years and not a goddamn thing is stuck to this motherfucker. So we're just going to make up shit now. So we're going to, as who was that dude? Let me look it up. I forgot his name exactly. I marked it. Give me 1 second. George Conway, that's it. As George Conway fucking said on Twitter. An anti-Trumper, by the way, hates the motherfucker. They've crossed the Rubicon. Now, if you know what the fuck that means, that was the start of the fall of the Roman Republic that turned him into an empire because warring factions of the Roman Republic had crossed a no-go zone, a point of no return to take Rome. Yeah. Even people who hate Trump are pissed about this. And now you know why. For shit that they think is there, that could potentially be in the wrong hands that I can fucking Google. Yeah, they're saying it was like something about Saudi princes and things like that. The sales to Saudi Arabia, things like that. Again, the shit that I can fucking Google. Never mind the fact that the DOJ has gone after political person after political person after political person. They've gone after people. January 6 defendants who were charged with nothing more than trespassing are still in solitary confinement and have been with absolutely no contact with the outside world, including their lawyers, over something that the police let in on one side of the building while still trying to maintain some kind of resistance on the other side. As a matter of fact, the deadliest day. Hold on a sec. Sorry, my wife's friend's here now. But never mind the fact the deadliest day in American history since the Civil War, as Potato Fuck said. The only person that died as a direct action to that was Ashley Babbitt. And now mentioning her is she's a martyr for militia violent extremism now. Yeah. Yeah. Saying her name makes her a martyr and points a target on your back. An American fucking civilian, former military, who was shot by a cowardly fucking cop who was not in threat in any way, shape, or form when he pulled that trigger. Mentioning her name makes you a martyr. Or makes you a militia violent extremist. Meanwhile, all this fucking time, it's the Republicans that are trying to destroy democracy. We are a constitutional fucking republic. We're not a democracy. That's been beat over our heads for goddamn decades. And now everybody believes mob rule is the way to go, which always winds up in communism. Throughout fucking history, a direct democracy has always wound up in communism. Case in point, 2020, Black Lives Matter. Everybody was afraid to speak out, and all we saw was that shit pasted all over the news. Yet I guarantee you, nobody knew that only 25% of Americans supported Black Lives Matter at the height of it. But yet they were propped up as the majority. 15% of Americans at the height of it got behind that ideology. Yet they were propped up as a majority. There's your mob rule. Especially when the mainstream media kicks this shit down your fucking teeth. Now they've weaponized every alphabet agency against the American fucking people and label you a domestic terrorist. Yet Black Lives Matter and Antifa are nowhere in that fucking document. You know, they're the ones that actually use violence and intimidation for a political fucking gain. But no, they're fine. Right? They're fine. 100%. There's nothing wrong with them. They were just doing good. While they burned down fucking American city after city after city, killing people, robbing stores. They're doing the good work. You, meanwhile, who just wants to live, pay your bills, do what you need to do to survive, you're the extremist. And now they have gone after a president who has done a lot of good for America, woke a lot of Americans up from the dumb shit that they were believing. He damn near single-handedly exposed the entire corruption within our own government. And now this. I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. With both left and right-leaning people pissed about this whole situation, I urge all of you, every single one of you, the ones on social media who want to fight about this stuff, do not engage with. Don't. Ignore them. No matter how much you just want to type that reply or make that video on TikTok, do not engage with. And I'll tell you why. We have one hell of an opportunity right now for every side of the political aisle to look at each other and say, this is fucked up. Something needs to be done. And if you engage with these people, you kill that opportunity. If you engage with these people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, they're just going off of TikTok. They're going off of what you see on Twitter. They're going off of that. They don't look at these things. They don't read past these headlines, which damn near every single one of them contradict what the headline says now because clickbait. Get those clicks. Get that going. But let's not read because, for the life of me, I cannot fucking read, but I'll sit down in front of a fucking TV for hours on end and let CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News tell me what to think and how to feel. Instead of look at these stories, realize what the fuck they're doing. When you turn that fucking TV off, nobody can tell you what to think and how to feel anymore. Frozen. There we go. Okay. So when they can't tell you what to think and how to feel anymore, you start realizing this shit just like I did. You start realizing the framing just like I did. You start realizing all the bullshit they say in these news articles where this is actually real, where the real information does come out if you avoid the framing. If you avoid the black man killed by white cop. If you avoid the far-right conspiracy theory and baseless claims. If you avoid all that, you find out the real fucking truth. And they straight up tell you. So do not engage with the NPCs and the trolls that want to bring this up and be like, hey, Trump's going to jail. We got him. They don't know a fucking thing. They don't know a damn thing. And they never fucking will. But yet those are the same damn people when this shit comes up and nothing comes out of it. There's the same damn people that are going to be pissed about it. Do not engage with them. Because if you do, you will ruin the chance to look at the person that knows what's going on across the political aisle from you and say, we have a problem and we need to talk now. And when you can talk to them, do not blame them. Do not shove it in their faces. Do not say, I was right. Look what this is. You look at them and say, you're right. Thank you for joining the fight. Now, what do we do about it? People are starting to know. People are starting to look into this and they're starting to realize what's going on. It's not time to demonize. It's not time to gloat. It's time to say, thank you for actually being correct and looking at the truth. Now, what the fuck do you want to do? Because I'm open to suggestions. I'll leave it there. The whole damn thing. Every bit of this government. NIH. CDC. FBI. CIA. DHS. IRS now. They're all coming after you. You can write it off if you do want to. But you only become cannon fodder. Time to speak up. Time to make your voice heard. Any lives matter. Each lives matter. You're right, Thork. Everybody's life fucking matters. It doesn't matter. But I'll go ahead and leave it there. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to start having conversations, and I don't care what side of the political aisle you lean on. I don't care how you feel about Trump. He did good for the country, but I hate this motherfucker too. I've hated him since before hating him was cool. I hated him when everybody loved him. I understand. But we need to have some serious conversations right here, right now. Because all this is going one way. And that one way is leading towards the communistic United States of America. There is no United. I guess it'd be the communistic States of America. And if you want an idea of what that's going to look like, look at what China does to their people. So go ahead and end it here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been going for 2 hours and 41 minutes, and I just had to get all this shit off my chest. I'm trying right now to gather a whole bunch that have been influential in the war that we brought to TikTok, the political side of TikTok, not the crazy ass side. We don't give a shit about that. We're talking political. Trying to bring on some of the most influential people, but finding these son of a bitches is hard because as soon as they pop up, they're banned. But once I do get a hold of them, I'll bring them on. We're going to have a big, huge group discussion about what to do and how we move forward now. Because until we all can agree, nothing will ever get done. But I would leave it there. I appreciate all of y'all for listening to me rant for fucking hours on end. It needed to be said. It needs to be said. This needs to get the fuck out there. Do not engage with the NPCs that just want to go off headlines and what somebody on their social media said about it. Do not engage with them at all. No matter how much you want to hit that reply button, do not do it. Because the more you do that, the less of a chance we have to reach. I appreciate y'all. Every single one of you. Remember this. You have a voice, and it is important. Please, sit down. We damn sure need to talk now. Take it easy, everybody, and have a good night.